Hey, welcome to Spirit's Wild Beer Review. I'm Shag Dog.
Hey, I'm Jammer. Welcome.
And we're doing Unter Dog, which
Which is
is
underdog.
it means under in German. It's brewed by Yards Brewing Company out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Beer Advocate 86, 5.6 ABV, and it is considered a Marzen. It is a Marzen.
Yes, it says here this Oktoberfest we're celebrating the city that never gives up with our new Marzen style beer. Fetch a 6-pack today. Sit back and roll over with joy. Good boy. Yeah, one day people are going to look back and say, "Man, this was established in 1994."
Yeah, like 100 years from now.
Uh,
Wow. 1994. Wow, this beer was 1860. They get another beer if they're still around, like Paps or somebody. Wow, they came out in 18, whatever hell, 84 or 64 or whatever.
yeah. Nothing really on the bottle to tell you. It just says Yards Brewing Company, 500 Spring Garden Street, Philadelphia, PA,
All right.
19123.
It's like a German Shepherd in a German outfit there
And brew unto others.
as they brew unto you.
Yes, and there is the Yards cap.
Now, it is a copper color, but it is kind of light, Jammer. Oh, you miss it?
Yes.
Kind of a light copper, I guess.
Yeah, kind of cloudy actually too.
Yeah, a little bit. Like a nice little haze there, I guess.
Yeah, nice haze. Yeah. Um,
And I'm getting a little bit of carbonation there. A little bit of bubblies going up.
there's a few. Not much going on with it though.
All right, the head's gone. It is
Hmm.
leaving a little bit of lace when you twirl the glass there, but
Yes.
all right,
And
let's get us.
that head
Oh,
has like a tinge of yellow there. Just like a
yeah,
light
a little
little
bit like an
tinge.
off-white tinge yellow.
Yeah. Very
Mm.
kind of like got a little slight caramel maltiness to it.
Yeah, maybe a little breadiness,
Yeah.
biscuity, just a little bit, not like over. I think this is gonna be a light Marzen, pretty much.
You are so there, Shag Dog. The light smell, the color, the head. You're on
I
mark
mean,
tonight, buddy.
a retard could figure that one out.
Well, you've made retard status. Let's see if you can go beyond.
Making a retard smart again.
Do underdog.
Underdog. I'll go ahead and give this one a test.
All right, let's go for it. Cheers.
Here's Jammer. Well, I think we did maybe one or two beers by this brewing company before. It sounds familiar, Yards.
Yeah, we have.
Maybe one or two, but it's not the greatest Oktoberfest. A little bit of bready maltiness, but very light. But not too bad. I guess I've had worse.
Very light Marzen, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Very light.
I think they had a little bit more German word I use, oomph in it. It'd probably be a lot better.
Man, I feel like I want to say there's corn in there, but I just
Yeah.
don't get the full effect to be able to confidently say it.
It'd say that it's corn. Yeah, it does have a
Yeah.
little bit of a corn taste to
But
it,
that
but
might be just the biscuity maltiness.
right.
It's not bold or anything. It's just very light.
Yeah,
And it
it's
might be
it
that bready, biscuity kind of giving it a kind of a corn.
yeah. It's similar to I'm not sure if it's similar to because I haven't had them in a while. Yingling or Shiner's Oktoberfest a little bit.
Yeah. Um, Very light. It's got the medium kind of mouthfeel. Man, just got another hint of corn there for a second.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a little corny, but it
Yeah,
corn and the children of the corn underdog. But it's a very. It almost feels like a very sessionable type Oktoberfest. Yeah,
yeah, I'm getting. It's so weird because it's like it comes in and then quickly disappears,
yeah.
like corn.
There might be a little bit of corn adjunct in there,
Yeah, I think there is.
but
And
it's not
when you're buying a beer, paying a premium price for a craft beer,
right.
you don't expect to have a bunch of adjuncts in it. I mean, granted, if they make it taste good, it's one thing. However, Germans have proven you can make it taste good without corn.
Right.
I don't know. I'm hitting. I think there is corn in there.
It's very light. Yeah, it's like a light sweetie corn taste too.
Yeah,
Almost makes me not really sick, but if I drink too many of these, I might feel a little sick.
I'm underwhelmed by underdog.
Yeah, I'm underwhelmed by underdog. Underdog is not on the uppity up.
In fact, I regret putting the real underdog behind me
Well, yeah, he's probably disappointed in you.
because I put him up there over this beer.
Yeah, because that's what Unter means, underdog.
Yeah. And I'm kind of disappointed. I was really, that Shag Dog. I was really looking at this one
Yeah,
thinking, oh,
I,
this is
I
going
mean,
to be exciting.
yeah, I mean, it's not super bad. It's okay, but it's just for a Marzen Oktoberfest, it's below par.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst one I've had, so I'll give him that.
No,
I can't remember what the worst one was, but I'm sure it's out there.
no, it's not the worst one we've ever had.
Yeah, I don't keep track. I mean, it's been a
That
couple of
being
years, but
said, we should have kept track over the years and revisit it, kept a
yeah,
book,
like what
checked
the
it
worst one
twice.
ever.
Yeah,
Then
checked
you
it
remember, okay,
twice.
was this as worse as some shitty beer Oktoberfest? Yeah,
Kept our tasting notes there, and then we could have wrote a book later, all the beers I've loved,
right.
and the one I threw up.
But there has been beers I loved, and then I have it
Really?
again. Yeah, the one you threw up. Yeah, there has been beers I loved, but then I have it again like 6 months later, a year later. And I'm like, I can't believe I like this that much. I mean, it must be a bad batch. Yeah.
That's going back to when we first started.
No, I'm saying even
Taste and flavor is very subjective.
yes, but even some beer companies have, I think, did the old Schlitz thing where they have downgraded some stuff. Yeah.
And they have because what they do is they try to keep it at a certain price mark
Hmm.
and they will adjust different things in order to keep it there and just slightly change it to
To
where
make
a
it
person
cheaper,
would not notice
and they're going
right
to save
off
money.
and they'll save money. And then eventually, with those gentle changes, it will be vastly different than
Over
what
the
the
years.
original
Yep.
after a couple of years.
And then they go downhill, and they're wondering why we go downhill. Well, we should learn lessons from companies like Budweiser and Schlitz, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's very disappointing what with Budweiser and what they did, and they've completely gone adjunct, which
Yeah. I mean, they're proud of the fact that they use rice, but they got corn in that too, though.
yeah, and I bet you back in the day when they first made that Budweiser, probably was good. I mean, it wasn't as good as Schlitz, obviously, because Schlitz was the number one beer in America.
Yeah, and if you go back to the 50s, 60s, they're jumping back and forth, between the two of them. But so I'm sure Budweiser at some point between the 50s, 60s probably cheapened itself up too. Not as bad as Schlitz did in the 70s, though, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so what are you going to give this, Shag Dog? I personally think that it's like you said, it is not on par. It's under par,
Yeah.
under underwhelmed,
I mean,
underdog.
if this was what is not broadcast, but marketed as a cheap Marzen, I'd say yeah, and it was actually a cheap price on it. I said that's pretty good for a cheap Marzen.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. So with that for what it is, I would almost give it a B plus, but I'm not gonna. I'll give it a C plus, but a swallow and a quarter.
I will give it a swallow and core because it is easy to drink, and you can drink a lot of it. Ah, I can't give it a C plus.
Oh, not even that high. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think it's
I
very
w-
drinkable. It's not off putting, but there is a little bit of a corn taste there. And it's
yeah.
very light.
Very light. The flavor is very fleeting. It quickly comes and goes.
I don't know what you paid for this either, so that might affect my score a little bit.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't cheap.
I bet you paid $3 or $4 for that,
I had to
at
buy a
least.
6 pack. I bet you it was
Oh,
at least, if I remember correctly, I bet you it was at least
12 or 14.
might have been close to $16.
Wow, for 6 beers, yeah.
Yeah, very
So a little bit
disappointing.
over two, but if they sold those individually, they probably would have sold them for like 3 or 4, probably
If
individuals.
it, and if it was a good craft beer, yeah, but it's just a mediocre one.
Right. Well, some craft beer store would rip you off by selling it for $3 or $4.
And I'm not sure, but I think the other yards that we had was a little disappointing too.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can't remember. I'm surprised when I looked it up. I was like, wow, they got a lot of beers, which I'd like to try all of them. But that's probably
Yeah,
never going
well,
to
of
happen.
course you would like to try all of them. I almost got the loyal lager only because you love lagers.
Oh, yeah.
From
Maybe
here
I'll
on
have
out,
that.
we may go off on a tangent. You never know.
All right. I got to bring a napkin out because my mustache is just too big. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
But it is really big. It gets wet at the bottom.
There we go. Look at that. I'm going to have them set up on the table here.
Wow. Hey, me too. Shit, where am I?
What are you playing with your bottles?
I can't even line them up. Now, I did line them up a little bit when I was doing a solo video, but
Yeah. Uh, anything interesting going on up there?
no, the weather was really cold today. I don't know. As you can see, I got a hoodie on all day. I've been wearing a hoodie. It's just,
Well, I can tell you right now, I wore a hoodie.
oh yeah. Today,
Yeah.
how cold was it down there?
It was in the 60s when I got up and went to work
Oh
and
wow.
stayed that pretty much that way until about 10, 11 o'clock. And then it got a little warmer by 2. It was getting a little, 2 o'clock was the tornado scare. So
Yeah,
before the tornado scare and everything, the sun was out, but it was nice.
yeah. I was in the low 50s here when I woke up at like 8:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock. It was cold all day. I mean, cool. It got up to like I don't know mid 60s. I think was a high 64 or something like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of tornadoes, do you remember the first time? And I'm not saying the Wizard of Oz, not the Wizard of Oz tornado, but do you remember the first time as a kid hearing about a tornado watch or warning and being, first time ever? And I mean, you probably got more down in Florida than I did in upstate New York. But the first one I ever got scared me. I was about 11 or 12.
Hmm.
And I was at my cousin's house. My mother called there. There was a tornado watch. I think it was only a watch. It wasn't even a warning, but we never get tornado watches either up there. And she's like, "You need to come home. There might be a tornado or something like that." Calls my cousin's house. So I'm on my way home. I'm like hauling ass home. It's probably about 2 miles away at walking. And the
Hmm.
skies were looking kind of greenish, weird colors. And I was like, man, this might be it. I might not make it home. I did though, but still, first time as a 11-year-old kid or whatever, being in a tornado warning watch or whatever.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Well, I can tell you this much. I was very fortunate. Every time we had a tornado or hurricane type kind of thing going on, my dad would uh, prepare for things in the sense of like the hurricane. He would gather stuff up and make sure that there wasn't much loose stuff out there,
Gonna
and
blow around and break out
yeah,
windows. Yeah.
and he would watch the news and everything. But I tell you, he was like a pillar of strength because
He tell you to quit crying, boy. I'll give you something to cry
no,
about.
no, I
Oh,
mean, I would say well, it could hit us. It could hit. Oh no, it's not. It's going around.
oh, so he was the one who was like, we'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
don't
wasn't
worry
he
about it.
he wasn't a pillar of strength dad that tells you quit crying. I'll give you something to cry about.
No, no, he was the one that was like give you confidence and
Okay.
believed
See, my
it
mother
was.
was the opposite. My mother
But I
was
mean,
my mother
seriously,
and my dad when I was
uh,
little.
we. I mean, he would give you the feeling, hey, everything's all right. Don't worry about it.
I thank my mother. I mean, that's total opposite of my mother, but I thank my mother for all she did when I was a kid. I mean, it taught me like, you can't get everything for free and want one hand, shit in the other, that one, and go play in traffic. You want to cry, I'll give you something. You want to cry, I'll give you something to cry about, that type of stuff. Yeah, it was great. Nowadays, that'd be considered probably verbal abuse. Huh?
Go play in traffic.
Go play in traffic. Okay. Well, we're about 10 or 12 years old. We're like, okay.
And the crazy thing about it is, y'all survived.
Right. And there might have been a couple times that happened where we're grounded supposedly, and then we're bothering her, I guess. Maybe she said, you know what? Just go play in traffic. Get out of here.
Yeah, and if you had done it, she would have been really freaked out.
Yeah. Now, I came home one time in a cop car, and we were playing kind of like a hide and seek game, but it was teams. We called it search or something. It's like you
Hmm.
played with teams, you hide in the whole neighborhood. And well, this one kid was on my team, was hiding in I think I said this before, but a side door of a restroom of a little tiny gas station
Yeah,
where they sell the condoms and all those weird little French ticklers and all that type of stuff. But he was hiding in there, and it has like the rectangular window up above the door. Well, this kid Jamie threw a rock or something at the window, couldn't get him to come out, so he threw a rock at the window, and he takes off running. Well, I'm like, the dudes come out that work there. I'm like, I'm not running. I didn't do it. So
yeah,
him, the guy who was in the restroom, Mikey Moff, and Todd Moff, his brother, we all got caught. But I'm like, I wasn't running. But they called the cops, and I snitched the kid out. I said, that was stupid. Why are you throwing a rock in a window? We're playing a game here. You're like, so I snitched the kid out. I didn't give a shit. I was like, yeah, his name's
yeah.
Jamie Thatcher. I ain't getting in trouble. And but the cop came, took us all home, put us in the back of the car, took me home first. I get to the door, or yeah, cop walks me up to the door. Matter of fact, Mikey Moff was the oldest, but he was crying like, "Oh, we're gonna get our asses whooped." Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm not getting my ass whooped. I didn't do it. Get home, cop. Yeah, somebody broke a window and he was at the scene. Blah blah blah. Get your ass in here. I got an ass whooping. I'm like, I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way kids did shit. Then I'm like, so that refrained me from playing search for a while. Okay, yeah, someone's gonna break a window. I'm gonna get another ass whooping.
Well, think about process of elimination, right? Or is that the natural selection?
One or the other.
Yeah, natural selection in the sense like go play out in the traffic.
Oh yeah,
You know, uh, survival of the fittest type thing.
right, right.
You got rid of those idiots that could not survive or could not cope in the world. Unfortunately, a lot of those people are surviving today.
Yeah.
That's a cruel thing to say, isn't it? Unfortunately,
Oh, there's a thing called luck.
I thought you were going to say love.
The life is very dangerous, and there's a lot of people who are alive that probably shouldn't be alive. You know, I might be one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. I mean, I I know I've done some stupid stuff, but I never was so stupid to do, you know, going out in the middle of the street and while traffic, yeah, I was out in
Right.
the street, but as soon as I saw a car coming, I got the hell out.
I never did a thing like the movie. I forget what movie it was, but they all laid out in the middle of the street. I don't know if that was Varsity Blues or one of those damn
Yeah, I
movies.
remember you were talking about that in the
And then
movie.
kids actually did it, and one kid got ran over by a car. Or the other one, the American Pie, and the guy does something with a hot apple pie, and kids
Yeah,
did that and burnt themselves.
yeah, that's stupid
You
too.
got to let
Yeah.
it cool down.
You sound like a man from of experience.
Yes, I did it with the old Hostess pies. You know,
The Swiss roll.
uh, I don't know if it was Hostess or some other company. It had like a pie, had like a frosting on it, and it was like fruity inside. I forget what the name of that company was, but
Yeah,
I
that
never
was
did it.
Hostess.
But I'm just trying to give an example of what kind of pie I would use.
Yeah,
A safe pie.
a safe pie. It wasn't a McDonald's hot apple pie.
Right, right. Unless it's been sitting there for a while and it's just
Because let
lukewarm.
me tell you, McDonald's had some hot apple pie.
Yeah, it did. I burnt myself with some McDonald's pie. Now, sometimes if you got it to go, it would be cool by the time you got home or whatever. You don't want to be hot or anything. But if you got it like right there, if it was fresh, yeah, it was hot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, you ready for the next one?
Sure, why not?
Let's do it.
I miss splitting beers.
Yes. Well, it happens.
I know you just miss my company, but I miss splitting beers more than your company.
Well,
But I need your company to do that, though.
what was this again? 5.6.
Unter? Oh, 5.6, yeah. Yeah, we haven't had a big, strong one yet, so that's what she said.
And that was a 5.5, so we're
I,
right there.
and we don't have any black loggers or anything, I don't think. So she hasn't had a
No.
big, strong black one.
But we do have a peg leg.
We do. We do. All right.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, this was Underdog. Try it. You
First
might
off,
like
beer
it.
review. I'm Jammer.
Shag Dog. We'll see you on the next one, folks.